This project that I'm working on now is a 84-inch by 36 by 16-inch wide console cabinet. This kind of a project requires quick glue. And this glue is so quick that you can put a little bit in a spot, smear it around, hit it with the accelerator, and by the time you count to 10, it's hard. So it is really, really fast. And this is the thick one. I have the thin one as well, and I have the medium one. The thin one works really good on raw veneer, or if you have really close tolerances. The thick one is really good for bridging and filling, and also good for paperback veneer. This all goes pretty fast. You know, if you identify where those are, so what I'm going to do is I'll pull it out a little bit and then poke it in with my fingers, and then pull it out, make sure I poke it down in there. It doesn't matter how deep it goes, gravity's going to pull it down in there pretty good for you. And so while that's running down in there, you've got a couple of seconds that you can clean up this top while it runs down in there. And then squish it together so that you get your squeeze out all wiped off. And then you can, what I like to do is start in one little spot and use the can, because the can's not going to stick to me. It's not going to stick to the can. Okay, now that one's nice and solid already. Okay, let's see if I put something in there. Did I? I don't know. We'll find out. Okay. Because I often get stuck to my work, and it just takes my glove off. But I don't want it to be stringing across my veneer. Those little strings across the veneer are really hard to sand off, and you're liable to go right through your veneer. The glue has to be pretty fresh for this accelerator to work. And so I know I put glue on this little spot a minute ago, but I got to put it on there again because this doesn't stay susceptible to this accelerator forever. Now I'm going to change my gloves a bit again because it does burn right through your gloves. Trying to figure out which way I want that grain to run. I still have to get the top finished, and I have one sheet of veneer left. So the question is, which way do I run this veneer?
How long have you had this veneer?
Oh, maybe 3 years, 4 years. So if I run it that way, I think what I'll do is I'll cut my top, because I have to have a long piece, so I'll cut my top first. So veneer handling is kind of tricky. You have to not break it, and it's real delicate. So this is what I'm doing. So there you go. Let me clean off my other cuts, and we'll cut this one up. These are all scraps that I won't throw away until the project is done. And then, as I have to fill in different places, these will come in handy. And they even come in handy on little, some pieces you want to just give somebody a piece of something, and it gives you a little something to send somebody away with something if they need a little piece of something. So I need 16 inches on this guy. Okay, guys, don't do what I just did. Look at my ruler. That's finish on my ruler. Try to keep them readable. Okay, so I always clamp down one end when I'm doing veneer, because that thing tends to slide around, and I always start off with a brand new blade. Okay, usually I make 2 cuts, but you don't have to make 2. You just make one good cut. You really press hard. You're just cutting through one sheet of material. You see I didn't cut really good right there, but that's not important. That's a throwaway edge. So this will fit the top of our piece with the 1/2 inch on each side. 1/2 inch left over on each side. So everything else that we have on that sheet can be applied to the face. And let's see how this is going to look. Look at that, it's almost big enough. So what I could do is I think I'll run the grain this way. That's plenty big for that little loop. Yeah, 3 loops. And as I remember, it's 36 inches. Yeah, I like to work the glue into the edges like this, and work the glue along the edge, because this is really important to stick the edge down and try not to get too much running down the face. Now this right here is really hot right now. And I can feel it's activated. And so what I can do is I can pull this up. Let me get that off. Yeah. So, pew, this stuff stays. So this is a throwaway. Now that's perfect fit. See? That's the kind of gloves I buy. I don't like the ribbed ones. No, the textured ones are good maybe for gripping stuff, but to me, I like to feel my wood. And if I can't feel the wood, then I can't very well make things flush. And so I got to go way back here. Here we go. So this is when I catch up all this. Makes less sanding later. So right now I'm kind of using my fingernail along here to kind of seal those two edges down to the same level. And there's no accelerator on there, so it's going to go kind of slow at first. But even though there's no accelerator on there, this is still a great glue. And you don't really have to have accelerator on there, but you can blow it right through the crack, right through the seam. It's only like 4 or 5 seconds before you start feeling it hot along there. As soon as you feel it hot, that's the catalytic action. That means it's doing its thing. Bottom of the can works pretty good. All right, so now that's all down. This is down too. So we're all good. Next thing is to trim that out with a router, but I think I'm going to do this little end down here. and do all the router work at once. Scrap. So this little guy's going to come in handy.